Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are on this planet. Today has been a fantastic day, especially for rugby. Now, I've literally just got back in from where I was. Where I was working, they weren't that interested in the rugby, so I couldn't watch it. So I thought, well, I'll just do my work and then I'll come back home. But I had this impression, it was going to be New Zealand's day. And, I just thought, wow, let me just see what the result is. And I logged in and I couldn't believe what it said. England 19, New Zealand 7. Final score. Final score. I thought, what? Are you serious? I don't believe it. I see Billy's brother here going mental and from this screen, and just New Zealand are stunned. Absolutely stunned. They obviously thought they had it in the bag. They obviously don't lose very much. But I think today they got literally rolled over by England. There were a couple of tries that would, I think a few years ago, it would have been, they'd have got that. But today, with the camera angles, they weren't going to get away with that. And, but it doesn't matter. The scoreline should have been more. But they've got, they got rolled over today. Look, you don't understand. I mean, before I've done this video, I was shouting, screaming. I thought, no, this is unbelievable. And I've been looking at a few snippets. They're just fantastic. I'm looking for a proper extended, the full match, which I'll be watching. I've only just seen highlights, but this is just great. So, what does this mean for a potential England-Wales? Oh, that would be, from my personal view, I think that would be horrendous. I don't think that would be good. I don't want that. That's my personal view. I would rather England, face South Africa, and if we lost to South Africa, that would be much easier to take than if England lost to Wales. And oh God, we would never hear of it to the end of time. We wouldn't, we just wouldn't hear the end of it. This is England's for the taking. And they've just demonstrated today that they were able to take down the best team in the world. But not just by 1 point, 2 points. Demolish them. Fantastic. So let's just read through some of the reactions here. England beat New Zealand to make World Cup final. Fantastic. Having not won a knockout game in 2011 and failed to get out of the pool stages in 2015, England have made the Rugby World Cup final in 2019 with a sensational win over defending champions New Zealand. Wow. Fantastic. Just fantastic. It was no smash and grab, intercept and a lucky bounce victory either. After Manu Tuolangi's score inside 2 minutes, this guy has always shown fantastic potential, just fantastic. England had 2 tries, there you go, disallowed by marginal calls from ref Nigel Owens. I mean, he's the best referee in the world. Plain and simple. He's just the best. And how would he do in football? If soccer, if he was doing, no, I think he wouldn't. I think the complexities of rugby is what he enjoys. I think he played football, he's done football, but I don't think football's too simple for him to referee. He would be excellent, and we don't want to lose. Well, we won't lose a great referee like him. So, he's called them as they are. He's a great ref. They had more possession, 56%, more territory, 62%, and more penalties, 6, and more turnovers, 19 out of 13. Itoje, Underhill, Curry, Ford, Tuolangwe, all superb, relentless team performance. I really, really like George. Oh no, sorry, I thought he was talking about Georgie Ford. Sorry, Georgie. No, sorry. Yeah, I mean, Itoje has shown his brilliance. Underhill has showed his brilliance. Tom Curry has just come in, showed his brilliance. George Ford. I've not always been a great fan of Ford. I think there was a player called Hodgkins who played for England at one time. He's in a similar mould to him. I wasn't always a great fan of him, but, he's come through. And, it's just fantastic. I really don't want to see a matchup with England against Wales. I personally don't want to see that. My nerves were bad as it was up until today. And I initially thought the match was going to start at 7 o'clock in the morning, which would have given me time to watch before I'd gone out. But I think it was gone 9, so I had to leave before then. And I thought it was a good thing because I just went and did my work, and then I come back today, and I'm now doing this little video. But let's see next Saturday's the final. Wow. They will take some stopping when they take on either Wales or South Africa next weekend. We'll leave you with Coach Eddie Jones' words of wisdom. We've earned another week in the competition, which is great. We're excited about that. Yeah, you came here 8 weeks ago. God, has it been 8 weeks? And you went, you want to go right to the death. We've got another week to enjoy ourselves and work as a team. Well, certainly has given England plenty to enjoy this morning. Relive the match via our report from Man of the Match. Man on the scene, here, stay tuned for whatever, blah, blah, blah. So here we have the great, the legend Matt Dawson. It has felt like there was this inner belief in England, in this England camp that I'd not seen in the last 16 years. I think he's right, yeah. I think he's right. The great, the legend, Tommy Wilkinson. Immense. Individually and together as a team. Immense. On to next week's final. Can't wait. Exactly. Let me just click that. That's great. That's just fantastic. They're setting the tone. It sounds like the media conferences have been pretty tasty. It's not often that the defining image of the match comes prior to kick, but Owen Farrell smiling down the hacker might turn out to be it. So he's standing there defiant. Bring it on. Bring it on. So this guy Murray is stating something on the bollocks that is Twitter. Steve Hansen takes an issue with a disrespectful question. He tells the journalist that if you want to spend some time outside, I'll give you a rugby education. He can say that now. He doesn't care. The question was to Kieran Reid. Did the All Blacks turn up with the right mentality? Oh, I bet he's regretting that now. Eddie Jones asked where that performance ranks in English rugby history. It's just another week, mate. We are not historians. We play rugby. We're hoping it's a 3-3 all tomorrow, and they have to play extra time. I mean, the great thing about Eddie Jones, he's an old bloke like me, doesn't give a shit, but he's enjoying his time. Just fantastic. Owen Farrell on England's hacker response. We wanted to not just stand there and let them come at us. We wanted to keep a respectful distance, but we didn't want to just stand in a flat line and let them come at us. They absolutely nullified the All Blacks. Andy Nicol, ex-Scotland scrum half. Sometimes you can only play what the opposition allow you to play, and the intensity England put into that game just stopped a lot of what makes the All Blacks what they are. They closed New Zealand down individually and collectively for the full 80 minutes. They squeezed the life out of the All Blacks. It could have been an even greater scoreline. They absolutely nullified one of the most potent attacks in world rugby. That performance New Zealand put in last week against Ireland was up there with everything we've seen. And for England to nullify that was incredible. I have to tick that. He's always been a great player, Andy Nicol. Good luck at the big dance. Oh, Sonny Bill Williams, congratulations to the England rugby team. Too good tonight, lads. Good luck at the big dance next week. Good on you, mate. I've just got to tick that for us. And this is what Matt Dawson said earlier. Never forget what New Zealand have done. It's a huge moment for English rugby, for the world of rugby, and that just pays homage to New Zealand as a whole, the team that has been going for a decade. They are an incredible bunch of individuals who was always going to end. It was always going to end at some stage, but we should never forget what these guys have done. There you are. It is what it is. I think that this is, you're going to love this. I think this has probably been, it's got to be the greatest now rugby tournament, because of the way the Japanese have put it on. They've done exceptionally well. Great stadiums, just great support. I mean, I think it's over half of the population watched their team play. I think, who was it against? South Africa. I don't think they've beaten, even when soccer came to Japan, the audience figureship has beaten that. in a convincing way. And this is just going to be great for rugby in and around that region. And do we need to see rugby in China? How will that rugby fare in China? I think it could do pretty well because of what's happening in Japan. I would love to see it go to Hong Kong, because that would be, I mean, they've got the sevens there and it's well established. If we could take that there after it's been to France, and take it to back to Asia or even to Korea, that would be great. Fantastic as well. We've got to start going other places. We've got to stop going to the usual suspectual places that you go: Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Britain, France, and all this kind of business. I mean, yeah, it would even be great. Italy would be good to take it to Italy. Russia, it'd be great to take it to Russia. I think it would actually be great to take it because, you know, the Russians they're starting to get back into rugby after dropping it in the 80s, early 80s. So I think it would be great to take this, also to, you know, South America. Argentina would be a great place to take it to. Obviously America as well. Although no, I'm not sure. I think I can remember when the Atlanta Olympics, when they completely fucked it up with so many rules and nonsense. You know, I think there was a massive smoking ban here, and there was this, you couldn't do this, you couldn't drink there. They really, really spoilt the atmosphere. And so for me, I don't know, I don't think they need to take it to America. Stuff America. Because that's what automatically people say, oh, we've got to take, you know, a country that, you know, defined the game of rugby into American football, and put, you know, changed the rules. That in itself is not bad. It's not bad. But the Americans are very, when it comes to other sports that are not American, when it comes to their country, I mean, the only thing they really take to is the Olympics. And I think the Football World Cup, I don't know. I mean, if it went like the, you know, Soccer World Cup goes to America, they don't care. It's there. And even if they didn't get the audiences as such, it's just from their point of view, the coverage, of being in America. And so, no, we don't need to go. Let's go to other parts of the world. Maybe India could be a place, you know, it could be taken to. Whether, you know, if they can bring up the grounds I mean, theirs is mainly cricket, but cricket and rugby have a very good, close relationship. I'm a great fan of cricket as well. I used to watch a lot of cricket when I was younger. So there is a good relationship between cricket and rugby. More so than rugby to football or soccer. So yeah, I think India could be a place. But definitely we've got to look at other countries that could be capable of putting on a good tournament. Japan has done superbly. I think we should look at, like I said before, Seoul, and Hong Kong would be great as well. So here we have the great Ross Kemp. Let's just play, see what he says. It's quite funny.
Come on, England!
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yes, I cannot tell you
Exactly
what that means.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It ain't over yet.
No.
But we're pretty close.
Exactly.
England, outstanding.
Fantastic. Oh, that's just brilliant. See, oh, bollocks, get out of Twitter, you twat. So, yeah. Do you want to play that one more time? Yeah, it's so good we can do it one more time. Let's do it.
Come on, England.
Oh.
Yes. I cannot tell you what that means. It ain't over yet, but we're pretty close. England, outstanding.
He's not in relation to old Coley, is he? He looks like his brother. Oh dear. Let's have a look at the lineup. Can we see the lineup? Yeah. So, yeah, Dan Cole. Where is he? Was he playing? Yeah, Dan Cole, substitute. I've never been a fan of Dan Cole. If you look at a lot of these matches that he plays, he will always get a penalty. Now, because I haven't watched this game fully, I didn't see the full match. I'm going to be looking at the highlights. I'm going to try and find whether I can see as much of the highlights as possible. If Daniel Cole was playing, fair enough. But if he wasn't playing and he was on the bench, that's probably why they won. I'm never ever been a fan of Dan Cole. I have never been a fan of him. I really haven't. And so, but he's there. He's in the team. Anyway, so this is about old Mick Brown. He was left out. He was good in his time, but you know, it is what it is. The magnitude of England's win. England have beaten New Zealand for the first time since 2012, ending a six-game losing streak against the All Blacks. Wow. New Zealand have lost a Rugby World Cup match for the first time since, 2007 quarter-final. They had won a record 18 consecutive matches in the tournament since that defeat. It was also the first time England have beaten New Zealand in a Rugby World Cup match, ending a run of 3 defeats. Wow. Who's this? Paul Grayson, former England fly half. Eddie Jones created a team instantly when he came into that reeled off 20-odd wins, then disintegrated. As they crumbled, the rebuilding process started again, and he's ended up with this team. This is a team defining performance. They are now playing at a level that made the best team in the world look like they hadn't got a clue. Tactically, mentally, physically, they tore New Zealand to shreds. And as you can see, I totally and utterly agree with that statement. And as they say, it's true. The scoreline did flatter them. It should have been a lot more. Most dominant England performance of all time. If anything, I think the score flattered the All Blacks. Totally dominated. Congratulate, boys. I'm a great fan of Danny Kaye. I think he should have been there, just like Cipriani should have been there. But it is what it is. And here we go. It sucks. So the New Zealand replacement, I'm not even going to bother his name. Just TJ. It sucks, bro. We fell short of our goal. I thought we kicked well. Set piece was pretty good for them, and they were physical today. They brought a game that they were very good at and executed. There wasn't a point in that game that I thought it was out of reach. I always thought we had a chance. It's tough, bro. It it's polar opposites to winning in 2015. We felt short this time, but it really hasn't sunk in for me yet. It's not a great feeling. I think we've all been in that position where we lost matches. We've got to give credit to a good English team. Oh. And here we have the football pansies, the soccer pansies, going to put their 2 pennies worth in, especially the wanker that is Gary Arsehole Lineker, the Ponce. I'm already... I had to change the voice there just to get it in tune with his. I'm already an expert on this rugby malarkey and confidently predicted that England will beat the Germans in the final. Come on, England. So his reference to the Germans being South Africans, but they were actually Dutch, you fucking wanker. Most of them were Dutch in the past, and now they do have some black people in there. You do need to know that, you effing wanking tosser. Get back to your pansy football, Mr. Lineker. Ian, bro, let's see what you have to say. Don't know much about rugby. You're absolutely correct. You know nothing about rugby, my man. But the G's, man, or whatever it is, the intensity and defence. Well done. That's the way you should. If you know nothing about a game, a far more superior game than what you've played in the past. But you've shown appreciation of the skill of rugby and the, what you have to learn to play the game. It's not a simple game like soccer. It's not only a tough game, but you have to learn the rules of it very well. So let me just pop that as a tick. I don't really want to do it because it puts Simmons as well, but it is what it is. Actually, no, stuff it. I'll take it out. Stuff him. But well done, my man, Mr. Ian Wright. And final will be one hell of a contest. I know the subplot with Wales is huge. It's massive. And I don't want it. I just don't want it. But it's great for rugby on another level to see 2 magnificent teams such as Wales and England, if that was the final. But really and truly, I want it to be South Africa. Because to lose to Wales, if England does, would be too much. If they beat Wales, that would be fantastic. If they were to beat Wales at this final, away from England, so there's no excuses. There's no excuses. That would be immense. And it's whetted the Welsh appetite, because turning England over next week after that performance would be utopia. Whoever manages to crawl through tomorrow will deserve it. And it will be one hell of a contest. Surreal and awesome. So we got Sam Underhill speaking to the BBC. Breakdown is such a big part of the game. It's the most amount of set piece you get. I'm not going to read all that quite. It's just that we were outstanding in that today. They are a side you can't just defend against. You see how dangerous they are. If you get a lead and try to keep it, they will get you. You need to keep attacking. And in the last 20, the boys did a good job. It's been a bit surreal and an awesome experience. Unbelievable. I feel very lucky to be here. It's a pinch yourself moment. Probably won't hot home for a while. Don't know what that means. It's an awesome group of people to be involved with. The thing about this Underwood geezer, I mean, I've not seen him before. He looks, he's got the face of a rugby player. He's got the body of a rugby player. He's a rugby player. I would say of mould of old. He just looks like that. He's got quite a posh voice, but he's obviously an excellent rugby player. Goes in there digging for the ball, a good carry. We've not got ahead of ourselves yet, and I don't think we will. Our focus now is all on next week, and that's what we have been doing for the last 7 weeks. Oh, let me just go back to the football pansies. Okay, here. I've got to go back to you know what it is with this wanker, Lineker. I think it's envy. The green-eyed monster's popped out. He's so fucking jealous. This twat has never got to the finals of anything, and he's just jealous. But I think he's scared. I think football is scared. Especially the FA. If England wins next week for a second time, God almighty, the pressure that this will put on English soccer will be immense. I don't think they want this. They really don't. Do you remember when Jonathan Wilkinson won 2003 and when he was back in England, that arsewipe David Beckham suddenly wanted to be his friend and wanted to now be able to try and do a keepy-uppy with a rugby ball. What a wanker. I remember that video when he was, suddenly he wanted to be, good friends be with a World Cup winner. Now, obviously, rugby and football are two different games. But they came out of the same stable, which is the English public school system back in the, 1800s. So that, they're very much, brother and sister, rugby being the brother, obviously, and football being the sister. It is what it is. So, yeah, I think Lineker's just a tad bit jealous. I think that's what comes out of it. I think he's not winning the World Cup himself. I think he's just a little bit pissed. But it is what it is. I just thought I needed to put that in there for the wanker who knows nothing about rugby. So, I mean, these are just fantastic pictures, Fantastic. Look at it. This guy literally looks like he's just rolled over. It just can't contain these two guys. Was that Underhill and Curry? Yeah. Underhill and Curry there. And old Jamie George is there in the mix as well. Fantastic. So, our focus now is all for next week, and that's what we've been doing for the last 7 or 8 weeks. God, has it been 2 months? It's been a fantastic tournament. The Japanese, I take my hat off to you guys. Just superb. No problems, no issues. You never get that with rugby. There will never be problems in regards to people who watch rugby, people who follow rugby. It's always respectful, and I think they said in some of the programs I've been watching that the attendees will clean up. They pick their rubbish up and take it with them to clean the stadium up. It's fantastic. Where else in the world do you hear that? I don't know. There's got to be 1 or 2 other places, but Japan is noted for that. Making sure their rubbish isn't, left behind. They take it away with them. So, yeah, it's, fantastic. England pack destroyed New Zealand. Again, Andy Nicol. I grew up playing against one of the all-time great back rows with Hill, Back, and Delalio. That trio out there have gone a big step towards today to match what they did. England's pack, particularly the back row and Itoje, just completely destroyed them in that area. It was an incredible performance. There's my man, Itoje. And he got man of the match. Well done, well done. We got the job done. There's Jamie George again there. Great player. It was definitely a top game. We played some great rugby for the most part, and they really pushed us to be our best. I'm really happy with the win. We got the job done. In 2003, I was 7. God, how old was I in 2003? 30-something? 37, 30, I can't remember. I started playing in 2006. So he was 11? Right around 10, 11. That's roughly the time I started playing when I was playing rugby at school. I remember watching the 2007 Rugby World Cup in my room with my brother on a little TV. I'm really honoured and privileged to be in this position right now. If you want to win a game of rugby, you have to win with the breakdown. And today was no different. We weren't perfect, but we did a good job. In my eyes, you were perfect. And Barnaby Nelson. Wow. Let me just say that one more time. Barnaby. I haven't heard that name for a long time. Barnaby. There you go. Similar to Rupert. I think I may have been the only person at wake in Toronto. In Toronto? That's not a very Canadian name. Okay. At 3:45 this morning for the rugby. Amazing win. Go England. Now time for breakfast. Ollie Smith. Time difference means nothing. Living in Canada now. Oh, okay, so these are probably English emigrate or on holiday. Now, and being up since 8 a.m. here, went to school, went to work, and stayed up to watch England win. Been up for 22 hours, but couldn't possibly be tired now. One of the most dominant displays of rugby I have ever seen. And a guy, Andrew Price, Richard Hadley, Lordy, Sir, what's his name? Your boys took one hell of a beating. Oh, Sarannan. Not sure Sarannan from Lord of the Rings was actually from Lord of the Rings of the Long White Cloud. But we get your point. Whatever. Fantastic. So now we've got another week. Another nerve-wracking match next week. I can tell you this now. I am going to be tuning in tomorrow morning for the Wales-South Africa match. I mean, normally I wouldn't, but we've got to see the result of this and see if Wales will push through. Ideally, I don't want them to. On one hand, I mean, if they were going to push through and England hadn't got through, I would be cheering them on. But it's going to be nerve-wracking. Anyway, I've said my bit. I'm laughing harder than the devil today, and I'm very, very happy indeed. So, until next time, thanks for listening.